Victoria Hunter back with you at the Millbrae Art and Wine Festival for MCTV. And we have the woman you want to be next to, you want to know whenever there's a disaster. This woman has all the answers. This is Marge Colapietro, yes?
Thank you, Victoria.
And
yes.
She does more than CERT. She's involved with Millbrae emergency preparedness programs, no matter what they are.
Correct.
And we have, I do know, I've heard of the Silver Dragon emergency and
Yes.
civilian response and things like that. But perhaps you should explain all that you do, Marge.
Well, I don't want to explain all that I do because I want to talk about the Millbrae Emergency Preparedness
that
Program.
part of what you do.
Okay. And first I want to say welcome back
Thank you, dear.
to Victoria. She wasn't with us last year and she's here hosting all day today.
I am, yes. That's
Yeah.
why the table's getting fuller and fuller.
And the
as we
wines,
go on.
the bottle wines
the
and all
bottle
this
wines
and
been
all.
open, yes.
And everything else is
Yes,
over here.
They take
keeping
care
you
of
going.
me. They take care of me very well.
All right.
So in case of an emergency.
All right, so in Millbrae, we're very, very fortunate to have programs that are completed by the volunteers in the community. And how this whole thing got started was that back in 2005, the civil grand jury, many of us have heard of the civil grand jury, and they sent a report to the City of Millbrae indicating that the City of Millbrae has been inactive in preparing for disasters with their volunteers. So when the civil
grand possible.
it's there in the annals of history.
Oh, okay. Then.
All right. So the good thing about that was that the city realized that yes, we better do something, and do something quick. So the Millbrae firefighters took on the task in 2007. They took them a while to get prepared and figure out the direction they're going to. So then in 2007, the Millbrae firefighters took on the task of trying to start programs for volunteers in our community. Well, what is the first thing that you need when you have volunteers and you have a disaster? You have to have a method of communication. And the communication method was called a LEND program. And the LEND program was based on when there is a big disaster and the police and the firefighters and the first responders are all out everywhere tending to the most urgent matters, that how are people going to communicate? So LEND was established. And it's basically like a walkie-talkie radio, but it's a mirrors radio. And they started to do a communications class. And it was at that particular time that former sergeant of the Millbrae Police Department, Ron Kane,
Oh, yes.
and Dino De Ranieri,
Of
who's
course.
been here
Many
previously,
times.
went to the Millbrae Lions Club. And they said, we have this idea, but we need some money to purchase radios and binoculars. Now, where the binoculars came in, I have no clue, because we weren't up in the airplanes and the helicopters.
We weren't doing signal flags.
That's right. So anyway, the Millbrae Lions Club donated $500 to the program to get us started. And that was the most amazing, amazing thing that could have happened, because that really was for something that Ron and Dino could go to the volunteers or the community members and start a core group of people, so that to say, hey, we can start this, and look, we can even get some radios. So that when we started that basic level,
Right.
there were 7 people in the community who were asked to be volunteers. And I was one of those people.
Not very many.
That's not very many, but wait until you hear the good stuff.
Oh, good.
The better stuff.
The better stuff.
Okay. So we had 7 people who started in that first LEND radio class. And then after the second one, we had another 11 people. And after the 11 people, word got around, and I think we wound up with, I'm trying to remember in my memory, the total that came after the 7 group and then 11 group. Oh, and then we had, I think, the ham radio operators, which were another 11 from the Millbrae Amateur Radio Club.
Right, yes.
So we wound up with this whole group of volunteers for the radio. So then the next step was that the volunteers themselves said, hey, we've gone through this radio training and we want to stay involved. And what are you going to do to keep us involved? So the next phase was the CERT program, Community
CERT,
Emergency Response Team.
Okay.
And we started classes. The first class had 30 people. The second class had 18 members of the Millbrae Lions Club. And so we conducted basically a wonderful session for the Millbrae Lions, because when the San Bruno fire explosion happened, who did they call? They called the Millbrae Lions Club because they have a mobile kitchen.
Oh.
And the Lions Club came for 3 days straight, and they cooked breakfast, lunch, dinner for the families, the victims, the first responders, and they themselves realized that they have something of value that they can contribute throughout our county.
Of course.
So that's why they said, we want to take a CERT class. And that was fantastic. So, but then in addition for them to be able to serve county-wide on the peninsula, they had to get certified and approved by the San Mateo County of OES, the Red Cross, the CERT, they had to do a CERT program.
Exactly, yeah.
And they did all of this, and I had talked to Adrian Tissier at the time, who was our Board of Supervisor, and I said, look, this is what we'd like to do, can you help us make it happen? And sure enough, the Millbrae Lions did their due diligence, their fortitude, and they are now certified on the San Mateo County agencies as on the first responder for food and that type of a thing.
How great is that? Well, the hard part, of course, is coordinating all this as a rule. You've got all these people who want to help, and how do you get them all in the right place?
Oh yeah, but we have the right kind of leaders who get them coordinated.
Excellent.
It's not like 800, by 50 different people.
Exactly.
So we have this. They have this fantastic, ability to respond when they're needed. So then, a surprising statistic is, from the inception of the Lendmures radio program in 2007 until now, we have 170 community volunteers in our emergency preparedness program. And we are visible in the City of Millbrae for events, in San Mateo County for events. We've done CPR, we've done the Silver Dragon drill, as you mentioned. We've done, we go to all the events. The first people they call, Dino, can you get your CERT people down there? And as a matter of fact, they're right next door to the firefighters booth. So people can walk in and over there and see what it's all about. We have wonderful, wonderful volunteers. So in fact, they're here today. Yes. And so, in 2015, it's another statistic, the year 2015, last year, our volunteers, which is about maybe 60% out of the 170 who are very active, volunteers gave 2,424 hours of their time to serve the people of our community.
Wow.
And that is fantastic. We reported that to the Central County Fire Department, because now Millbrae Fire is a part of that. And they were just blown over. And so anyway, I'm very, very proud, and I get to talk about all the great stuff that goes on, but it's really the leadership we have, Dino De Ranieri, and all of our people and all our volunteers who really stick with us.
Yes.
So I'm sure that the civil grand jury would like to know that after 9 years, they have nothing to worry about when it comes to being active or inactive in emergency preparedness for the city of Millbrae.
But the tricky bit is, if you don't live in the city of Millbrae, you don't get all this wonderful stuff.
Well, some cities offer programs.
If you're going to have a problem, if you're going to have a disaster, try to be in Millbrae.
Try to be in Millbrae, that's right. Because all the first responders are going to be away from Millbrae. So anyway, that's just a little bit about what what we do, and we're so
That's
thrilled.
amazing.
And it's amazing.
And it's grown so fast.
And very fast. Well, 9 years.
But
yeah.
still, I mean, you've ramped up very quickly.
Okay, so I'm sure that all of our viewers and the people listening want to know what they can do. So if I could ask one of our wonderful cameramen if he could do a close-up and look at 2 websites that you can contact if you want to become involved in the emergency preparedness for our community. We need all of you, and we can handle more of you. You can go to these sites and you will get more information. So we'll look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much. Victoria, thank you.
Yes.
You did good.
Well, I mean, a disaster is something nobody wants to deal with.
That's right.
But it's nice to know we have you and your cohorts on our side, Marge.
I'm one of the volunteers.
Yes, well, you volunteer
right.
for a lot of things, Marge.
Thank you.
I talk to you quite frequently. Thanks again for showing us this and telling us all about it. I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to get involved.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so
You'll
too.
be a good omen for us.
Oh, hopefully, yes.
Okay.
So get involved, guys. We're going to wrap up now with Marge, and I'm not sure what we're going to next, but it'll be fun. Enjoy.
In an emergency, local police and fire departments are always on the front lines. But sometimes, a situation is so dire, their resources are stretched thin. In times of crisis, friends and neighbors will step up to protect each other. But proper training and planning are necessary to keep everyone safe. That's why every community needs a strong CERT team at the ready. Civilians are encouraged to be prepared, which is why CERT offers classes and educational resources to ensure a family knows what they need and what to do to survive. Many members are former or current health and safety professionals, but you don't need experience to be a part of your community CERT team. Volunteers receive basic first aid and emergency response training and certifications to match. CERT members are also involved with planning and organizing emergency response systems for their community. An efficient communication plan is also an essential part of emergency preparedness. Many members of the Millbrae Amateur Radio Club put their hobby to good use by serving as CERT volunteers. CERT would like to encourage members of the Millbrae community to join their team. Training courses are offered through the Central County Fire Department 3 times per year. 8-week winter courses are offered in Millbrae, and 7-week spring courses are offered in Hillsborough and Burlingame. For course descriptions, visit www.ccfdonline.org or call 650-558-7600. Contact your area's CERT coordinator to sign up. For the City of Millbrae, contact Dino De Rainieri at n6ina@aol.com. If you would like more information on CERT, visit their website, millbraecert.samaritan.org. For safety information and emergency preparedness tips, visit www.smhealth.org. You can also sign up for free emergency notifications within San Mateo County by visiting www.smready.org. For additional information, stop by the CERT booth at the Millbrae Art and Wine Festival.
You're watching MCTV's coverage of the 46th Annual Millbrae Art and Wine Festival. MCTV would like to thank the following for their generous support of this program: the City of Millbrae, the Millbrae Chamber of Commerce, Millbrae Lions, and Rotary. MCTV would also like to thank the following underwriters. This program would not be possible without you. A special thanks to our in-kind donors. Support your community television station by underwriting a show or a series and be seen by thousands of Millbrae viewers on TV and online. For more information, visit mctv.tv and click support, or email info@mctv.tv or call 259-2343.